If you're listening to the replay of this live, be sure to punch that like and subscribe button and let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as I go throughout the live. Make sure to comment replay gang in the comments so that I know you were here.
Y'all, man. 2 cents be on point. Shit, she be on point, bro.
Appreciate it.
Blonde,
Appreciate
for real.
it.
We talking facts. Like, you the first one to say it.
Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Jay, and this is our 2 cents, where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. In today's live, we will be discussing fans slamming Tank versus Roach fight. Bill Haney says Jake Paul is the face of boxing, and Floyd Mayweather being sued. Of course, we're going to talk about a lot of other things today, and we may not even get to all those topics. But before we do that, I want you guys to make sure and let me know. You drop it below in the comment sections as I go throughout the live. And make sure you click the link to hop on and join the panel as we go through today's live to join in on the conversation. Because I am always interested to hear different perspectives and different points of views. let's see who we got on the panel today. I mean, let's see who we got in the chat today. You just joined us. We got all things in the building. What's going on? Big Supreme in the building. I don't know if you here, but you was here a little too early. We got Cash Crypto in the building. Raymond Seafood in the building. Boxing Hacker in the building. Ambrose West in the building. What's going on? Be sure to punch that like and subscribe button for the logarithm. I want to thank everybody for joining me and continue to join me every Sunday on these lives as we go through and talk this boxing talk. Now, I must say, boxing is so slow right now. I mean, it's extremely slow right now. You got promoters beefing with each other. You got boxers beefing with each other. You got YouTube channels beefing with each other. It's just so slow right now. And I remember at the beginning of the year when, Saudi was getting involved in boxing, everybody was talking about how the Saudis going to save boxing and they're going to make the tough fights the people want to see. And everybody was excited about that. But so far this year has been extremely, extremely slow. And I think a lot of that is due to Al Heyman not being around for whatever reason, whatever personal things he got going on as far as the PBC goes. PBC is rebuilding. They've left Showtime. They signed a new deal with Amazon Prime, so they're probably trying to work the kinks out with that. But boxing has been terribly slow this year. Riyadh season has put on a couple of cards. I mean, they've been okay. The Anthony Joshua Du Bois fight just happened where Anthony Joshua got knocked out. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I'm not really a big Anthony Joshua fan. We got the Better Bivol fight coming up. And I mean, now that's truly going to be an interesting fight because you ask people and they can't say either way. They can't say if they think Bivol going to win. They can't say if they think Better Biv going to win. I was leaning towards Better Biv or Beterbiev or however you say his name because he has 100% knockout ratio. He has a decent resume. It's not like he's just been knocking out people that can't fight. But he also is an older fighter and he just had knee surgery. And we don't know how that's going to affect him and his movement in the ring. So I think that's going to be an interesting fight. Definitely going to be a tough fight to bet on. So what do you all think? Let me know in the comments. Who do you all have winning the fight? Beterbiev or Bivol? Now, Bivol's a good fighter, but can you make it 12 rounds? He's a good fighter, but can he be a perfect fighter? Can he make it 12 rounds without getting knocked out? Bivol says Boxing Hacker says he has Bivol. Why, Boxing Hacker? Why do you think that Bivol is going to be perfect for 12 rounds and not get knocked out by Beterbiev? I'm just curious. I mean, I don't really have a horse or a dog in the race. I have been kind of watching both fighters in the last couple of fights. I actually been watching Bivol since he fought Canelo. I continue to follow him throughout his career and watch his fights. Cash Crypto says, as long as Beterbiev is allowed to use high HGH and testosterone, it's hard to bet against him. Hey, you might be right about that. Fahim Sadiq says, Beterbiev, until you said that ninja limping. Yeah, I did see some videos and showing him at the press conference. He did look like he had a little limp. And I'm like, is he playing head games? Is he playing mind games? Or is he truly injured? Or did he always walk with that limp? You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I never really paid attention, so I don't know. But I'm going to go with Beterbiev in this fight by stoppage. But I'm a gambler, so I might throw a little money on Bivol for the stoppage because you never know. I mean, you never know. Boxing Hacker says, I think with that knee injury, it's going to be hard to keep up with Bivol work rate and movement. That's a good point, Boxing Hacker. That's a good point. But if I catch you, I might not be able to keep up, but I might be able to catch you. Fahim say, I hope it's a Diddy Bop. I don't know about no Diddy Bop. I don't know about him having no Diddy Bop. Not the Diddy Bop. That's a bad choice of words at this point in time. Not the Diddy Bop. So let's get started. We got 11 people in here. Please be sure to punch the like and subscribe button. Get the likes up so we can have more people join in on the conversation. Ambrose West says, I think that knee of Baturviev will bother him and slow him down later in the fight. Bivol will exploit that. Bivol has a jerky in and out movement when fighting. He absolutely does. He absolutely does. So I don't know if you all have heard the news. Boxing Hacker, have you heard the news? Devin the Dream Haney, according to his father, Bill Haney, is no longer the face of boxing. No, Bill Haney said it himself. I seen it come out of his own mouth in a video. He himself has said that Devin the Dream Haney is no longer the face of boxing. That the face of boxing is now Jake Paul. Jake Paul. Bill says Jake Paul is now the face of boxing. Now, we all know how, quote unquote hardcore or true boxing fans feel about Jake Paul. My 2 cents about Jake Paul. I like Jake Paul as a promoter. I like what Jake Paul has done for women's boxing. I like the fact that Jake Paul has came into the sport. I like the fact that Jake Paul has came into a niche sport and found the niche within a niche. Right? But as far as him being a quote unquote boxer, I know he was talking about, I think it might have been the WBO or the WBA. One of those sanctioning bodies was, trying to talk about getting him a shot at a championship belt and all of that stuff. My opinion, my 2 cents, I think that's a little too far because Jake Paul has not fought. Okay, I guess he did fight Tommy Fury. So he's fought one legit boxer. But other than that, Jake Paul, as far as the boxing goes, he's more of as what I would call entertainment, right? Now, I understand he garners a lot of money because he brought in his own fan base from YouTube doing pranks and whatever else he used to do on YouTube. He was able to bring that fan base over to boxing. He's able to put fights on his undercard that people are willing to see. He's willing to fight as a co-main event and put the other fighters as main events on his card, which is very commendable. It's very respectable. Very respectable. I don't have any qualms or anything bad to say about Jake Paul, except the fact that Jake Paul, you're not a legit boxer. 1, let's get that straight. And 2, you're definitely not the face of boxing. Now, according to the criteria that a lot of people say the face of boxing is, which is garnering and bringing in a lot of money, some people might want to argue that Jake Paul is the face of boxing, but let's be for real. He's not the face of boxing. Like, he can bring in a lot of money. He can put on these gimmicky fights. Like, the man is fighting Mike Tyson, for crying out loud. Mike Tyson, like 60 years old. I don't approve of that fight. I don't think that it should have even been allowed by any commission. Mike Tyson is 60 years old. However, I do still think Mike Tyson can knock Jake Paul ass the fuck out. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do still now. And am I saying that he gonna beat him in the whole boxing match? No, but I do think that Mike Tyson has a puncher's chance of knocking Jake Paul out. I really do. I don't believe it'll happen. I don't believe the fights are set up, like we're gonna go in here, we're gonna go at each other. I mean, I do believe it's things in the contract to prevent that from happening, like no knockout clauses or some crazy stuff like that going on. I mean, I don't know for sure. I'm kind of just making that up, but I don't approve of the fight. I think it's just one big ass gimmick. However, the fight's gonna sell. Some people saying it might do 2 million pay-per-view buys. Could you imagine? Can you imagine if Jake Paul and Mike Tyson do 2 million pay-per-view buys? What does that say about the sport of boxing? What does that say about the sport of boxing? And as much as I don't like when Shakur Stevenson criticizes the fans, saying they don't know shit about boxing and this boxing match and they don't know this and that, which is true, but you have to understand that boxing is a sport that appeals to the casual fans. So to me, all Jake Paul is proving is that you need a big casual fan base to be, I don't want to use the word to be profitable. I don't want to use the word successful, to be profitable in the sport of boxing. Are you successful in boxing if you're able to be profitable? Absolutely. Can you be successful in boxing without being profitable? What y'all think? Let me know and drop it below. Can you be successful in boxing without being quote unquote profitable? Now, if Mike Tyson and Jake Paul do 2 million pay-per-view buys, that proves Shakur Stevenson and Terrence Crawford and all these fighters that say y'all don't know shit about boxing 100% correct. It proves them 100% correct. The thing about boxing is it's a sport that doesn't care about the people that always watches it. Boxing don't care about the hardcore fans. They're not trying to garner your attention. They're not trying to bring you in. They're not trying to quote unquote make the fights you want to see, make the best fight the best, because it's not about y'all. Y'all gonna watch it anyway. We gonna watch it. We gonna complain. We gonna bitch and moan. We gonna argue on YouTube panels. But really, they're trying to appeal to the casuals, which is why some might argue Shakur Stevenson has a hard time. Even though I'm not gonna lie, I do think Shakur Stevenson has a decent fan base, but not nothing huge or nothing big. So it's a lot of people that the casuals that don't really quote unquote appreciate the art and the sweet science of boxing because they don't know anything about it. It really takes a conscious effort. It really takes a conscious effort to understand the sport of boxing, to understand how the sanctioning bodies work, to understand how the business work. I mean, I'm on here all the time arguing with boxing hacker who's quote unquote a hardcore fan, and he don't even understand how the business work. He don't even understand why some fights can't be made. Still don't get it. Even if I play proof, videos, stuff coming straight out the horse's mouth, he still doesn't get it. But it is what it is. Boxing is that type of sport. But I brought that up to say we all know Jake Paul is not the face of boxing. Even though I do think I heard that this was Jake Paul's last fight and he's going to MMA. At one point, I was wondering if Jake Paul was really going to make a fight with Canelo because he had been calling out Canelo. And I was wondering if Jake Paul was going to fight Canelo as his last fight before he retired, kind of like how Mayweather fought McGregor before he retired. And that was this big, huge fight, which again is just proving my point. So I don't know about that, but I guarantee you Canelo versus Jake Paul would be a big money fight for real. But I want to ask you guys in the chat and let me know, and I'm about to drop the link in a second. What would make Bill Haney say Jake Paul is the face of boxing? Let me see what y'all saying in these comments. What would make Bill Haney say that? We all know he's being a little hyperbolic. I mean, all this time, Bill, you've been Devin Haney era. So is it the Jake Paul era? We all know you don't mean that, Bill, but I'm just curious why you're saying that. Cash Crypto say he's the face of celebrity boxing. Boxing Hacker say, but he is a legit boxer. He has a pro boxing license. This is why I can't fool with you, Boxing Hacker. This is why I cannot fool with you. Ambrose West say Bill was being sarcastic in my opinion. He just tired of answering that question and standing up for his son. He knows it's debatable at this moment. So Ambrose West has always been debatable though. My 2 cents. Mike selling his name to Jake Paul? Absolutely. I keep saying this. The spectacle of boxing sells more than the sport of boxing itself. Absolutely. Hell no. It's called prize fighting. Hello, in my Floyd Mayweather voice. Boxing Hackers say, depends what you call successful. If success is based on a record, then yeah. That's why Canelo is selling so much when he fights Baturviev and the likes. It's like creating a spectacle that draws the crowd. Boxing fans has changed. More and more people don't even care for the sport. Well, that's because boxing is already a niche sport. It's already a niche sport. It's not just something that, honestly, like me and my brothers are into boxing really heavy. My husband, we talk about boxing all the time. But other than that, like if I'm doing some work or I'm around some people and I bring up boxing name Davis and maybe Earl Spence and maybe the big names of boxing, but I'm not about to sit there and just go have boxing conversations with people. Sometimes I may wear my Earl Spence t-shirt or something and people recognize it. They come up, we have a conversation about it. But it's not a sport that a lot of people talking about. It's not talked about on ESPN and those type of channels. It's not nothing you see on TV or sport. You see people debating about it. All the boxing media pretty much take place on YouTube. I'm pretty sure if Canelo had fought that cruiserweight, it would have broken the bank. Says Boxing Hacker, because people say that Tank is the face of boxing based on popularity. So if that is the premise of what makes the face of boxing, then yeah, it's Jake Paul. Canelo never fought Beterbiev. No, Canelo did not. Phoenix the Assassin in the building. What's going on? I was making an example, Phoenix. Okay, so this had me thinking. Why would Bill Haney say Jake Paul is the face of boxing? So everybody knows about the lawsuit. We've been talking about it for weeks. We've been downloading and reading it, breaking it down, being the judge and the jury, saying what we gonna think about it. But this has me thinking: is Bill Haney thinking about teaming up with Jake Paul and having Devin sign with MVP Promotions? Because why is he mentioning Jake Paul and bringing Jake Paul up? Why would Devin Haney have to go to MVP Promotions? What's going on behind the scenes that we don't know anything about? I questioned at the beginning of this lawsuit, is this going to get Devin Haney blackballed? And not just the lawsuit itself getting Devin Haney blackballed, because, people sue promoters all the time. Bob Arum has been sued by multiple people multiple times. I mean, Bob Arum, it seems like Bob Arum gets sued every year. It seems like every time he got a fighter, it's time for them to get ready to leave, here come a lawsuit for Bob Arum, right? But what makes me think is, has there been a series of events before the lawsuit that makes people not want to do business with Bill and Devin Haney? They have been jumping around from promoter to promoter, 2-fight deal, 3-fight deal. Oh, I got a 2-fight deal with you, but I'm going to leave you for this fight and go over here and make this fight with this promoter. Is that a problem in the boxing world? Is it frowned upon? You have to wonder, does it make you appear not to be loyal? See, a lot of people got this whole I'm my own boss. But my 2 cents, maybe being your own boss in boxing, depending on who you are, is not the flex that you think it is. Unless you have the money and things to back you. You have the money to back you. You have the fans to back you. You have the skills to back you. Do you get what I'm saying? You can't just jump out there and be your own boss and you don't have those other things backing you, because eventually the powers that be may come together and conspire against you, and it will be nothing that you can do about it. And I'm just wondering if that's happening right now, because think about it. Devin Haney signed the 3-fight deal with Top Rank. He was able to get the undisputed from Cambosos, do the rematch, then fight Loma. Everybody wanted to see a rematch with Devin Haney and Loma. He refused to do the rematch, dropped the belts, and walked away. Did that make Bob Arum feel some type of way? And if Devin Haney was fighting for money and legacy, why wouldn't he take the rematch? But that's not the point of what I'm saying. The point of what I'm saying is, did that make Bob Arum feel some type of way? Then Devin goes back to Eddie Hearn, signed a deal with Eddie Hearn, left Eddie Hearn to go fight Ryan Garcia. And this is the second time he's done that. The first time he did it, he left Eddie Hearn to go to Top Rank in order to fight Cambosos for undisputed. And if you watch the interview with Eddie Hearn and Andre Ward, Eddie was kind of like, I wasn't really too cool with that. I ain't really vibe or like that. But, it was for undisputed. So, I went ahead and let him do it. And let's clear this narrative that these fighters are signing with Eddie Hearn, and Eddie Hearn like, oh, it's cool. If you want to make another fight with another promotional company, I'm going to let you go do it. No, They have to pay him. As you seen in the lawsuit, Devin Haney had to pay Eddie Hearn $300,000 in order to walk away to go make that fight with Ryan Garcia. It says it in the lawsuit. It's in black and white in writing. So this is the second time that Devin Haney has, for lack of a better word, been disloyal to Eddie Hearn and walked away and made a fight with another promoter. So you done pissed off Bob Arum, allegedly. I'm just giving my 2 cents. You done pissed off Eddie Hearn. You talking shit about Eddie Hearn all on Twitter. You calling him out. You saying he ain't really your friend. He two-faced it. He fake. Eddie Hearn checking you at the fight. He ain't give you a ticket. It don't seem like Turkey really messing with you like that. At one point, I heard him saying in the Andre Ward interview that he was allegedly supposed to make a fight with Teofimo Lopez, and they were going to fight on the Riyadh season card, but Teofimo quote unquote ducked him. And who knows if Teofimo really ducked him? It might have been because of the litigation he's in right now with Top Rank. Who knows? We're not going to even get into that because that's another discussion. What happened with Turkey? What happened with Riyadh? Eddie Hearn was allegedly trying to make the Liam Paro fight with you, but that was for the IBF. You would have had to do the 10-pound rehydration, and allegedly you priced yourself out of the fight. So we got Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn off the table. And you know what? I did hear Bill Haney talking about, these quote unquote 3-4 big promoters, why they got to run everything, why they got to do this and why they got to do that. I heard him saying something to that effect. I don't remember his exact words. So now that he's bringing up Jake Paul, it's making me wonder, is that the direction that they're going to try to go in? We already know he don't got Al number. So PBC is out the question. He not calling Al. He don't got his number. Or Lubus DeCuba, he don't got their number. So I'm just curious, why would he mention that? But that's just me. Just my 2 cents. I'm not saying nothing is in set in stone or writing. I'm just speculating right now, like how boxing hacker like to say. I don't know. Phoenix the Assassin say, then make the right example. Can't use something that never happened as an example because then you have no example to point to. Says sorry, geez. So moist already. Ambrose West, who you talking to? Phoenix the Assassin, it's about what fighters are suing for, not just the act of suing. Like Bud suing with allegations that Bob was blocking fights, or Wilder suing in order for the contractual rematch to happen. Absolutely, Phoenix the Assassin. And that's another thing I wanted to get into today about Bob blocking fights and people completely ignoring that and acting like, anyway, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna discuss that because people completely ignore the fact that Bob blocks a lot of fights. He's blocked a ton of fights. He's been sued by a ton of fighters for blocking fights, but yet when it comes to Tank Davis or Earl Spence, they were ducking. It was their fault and all of this stuff. Well, y'all know Bob be blocking fights. It says one big event, he got his ass whooped. Okay, for him. What's going on, New Era Boxing Bets and TV? What's up, teaching the building? Boxing Hacker. I don't think so because prior to the lawsuit, they went to Top Rank and Bob Arum said he enjoyed working with the Haneys. Eddie Hearn said he thought the lawsuit was a good idea. Says he left Bob with 4 belts. You damn right he wasn't feeling that. Okay, for him. Says, why wouldn't Turkey mess with Devin? I'm not saying Turkey wouldn't mess with Devin. I'm just saying, like I just said, they were supposed to make a fight on the Riyadh season card with Teofimo Lopez, but that didn't end up happening. I'm not saying Turkey wouldn't mess with Devin. I'm just saying what's going on with that. Like, what's up with that? We haven't heard anything about, Devin fighting on the Riyadh season card or who he gonna fight besides what he told Andre Ward. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I'm not saying Turkey wouldn't mess with Devin, but who is Turkey going to? What fight do you think that Turkey? Because obviously Turkey gonna make the fights he want to see, is what everybody's saying. He gonna pay big money and he gonna make the fights he want to see. Who do you think Turkey wants to see Devin fight? If it's Gervonta Tank Davis, he not making that fight. So you might as well throw that out the window. New Era Boxing say I thought the same thing. Fahim say Devin is done. Says not sure. I think Devin still has a lot of options. Boxing Hacker, please let me know. Please let me know what options you believe that Devin Haney still has. Because I'm curious. No, I'm being serious. I'm not even being sarcastic. What? Let me know what options you believe that Devin Haney still have for real. Because this is the thing I don't understand why Devin dropped his belt and all his leverage. So it's not even. It's not like if I fight you, I'm gonna get paid a whole bunch of money. It's not like if I fight you, you got a belt on the line. Like, what incentive is there to fight Devin Haney? That's just my question. Like, he has no more leverage. I mean, I know what the term mean. I was just wondering who he's talking to. What's up, my lady? You can get me hired at Burger King or Taco Bell. Man, what is you talking about? And Fahim Sadiq say Ryan. And that's what I said. Ryan, and even Kenny Ellis just said this the other day in the video. And I just said this before I heard him say it. Ryan Garcia is Devin Haney's biggest fight. It's not Tank Davis. Ryan Garcia is Devin Haney's biggest fight. Everybody knows about what happened. Everybody knows about all the drama. Everybody tuned in to all of that. The only reason allegedly Ryan Garcia beat you was because he was on Ostarine. Run it back. Everybody wants to see that fight. Nobody is the same way how they do Tank and how they not gonna be happy till he fights Shakur or he fight Devin. Every time Devin Haney fights somebody, Ryan Garcia's name is gonna pop up. My 2 cents, I believe Devin Haney needs to rematch Ryan Garcia or he will have to fight Ryan Garcia the rest of his life. He will continue to hear it. People will continue to ask about it. But I don't know if Devin Haney will fight again. We'll see. I'm interested. This is an interesting story. We're watching it unfold real time. It's not a story we're hearing about in the past. It's something we're actually in right now, and we get to follow it and see what's going on. Fahim say his only option is Ryan Garcia. I mean, get you a tune-up or two in and go rematch Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia will be coming off, allegedly Ryan Garcia is about to fight, but if he don't, he'll be coming off a year of inactivity. You can catch him then. You know, he's not that disciplined. You know, it's a lot of advantages you'll be able to have over Ryan Garcia if you hop in the ring, get you a tune-up or two, then get him in the rematch. Make sure you read that contract, though. Devin had Sandor Martin turned down and dropped the belt. Pyro reached out, but Devin turned that down. Absolutely. Cash Crypto, 2 cents. It kind of seems like Dev dropped that belt for the appearance of his career being hurt in the eyes of the judge, in my opinion. Cash Crypto, I said the exact same thing. That's exactly what I said. But this is the thing with that. A lot of the stuff that they want to say is quote unquote Ryan's fault. I don't necessarily think it's Ryan's fault. They say they had to pay the $300,000 step aside money to fight Ryan Garcia. You didn't have to pay that. You could have just fought your mandatory and then came back and fought Ryan Garcia. They said it was fraud because Ryan Garcia came in overweight. You didn't have to accept the fight. You could have said, no, we're not fighting because you came in overweight. They said Ryan Garcia was battering Devin Haney in the ring. You didn't have to continue to fight. You could have stopped the fight. Now you're saying because of the fight, you know, you took all these damages and now you can't fight. So to me, it just seems like, let me drop this belt. Let me get offered these fights. You heard Eddie Hearn come out and say, oh, he wants $4 million. He not worth that. He got to take a couple fights and maybe get paid $1 million and then, you know, kind of work his way back up. So maybe they want to say that that's a part of the damages. Listen, I couldn't take these fights because of all these things that happened that I could have prevented took place and drop my stock. You're absolutely right with that, Cash Crypto. It says Devin Haney still champion in recess. Devin is still a big name, so he can probably get a fight with a lot of champions at 140. There is Ryan. Devin Haney is still a big name. But what does that have to do with people having an incentive to fight him? He's not that big of a name. I mean, I guess people might want to just be like, oh, I got Devin Haney on my resume. But again, who's going to work with Devin Haney? Will Top Rank be willing to re-sign Devin Haney? Does Top Rank have any 140-pounders for Devin Haney? Somebody let me know and drop it below. What 140-pounders does Top Rank have? I guess he got T.O. Who else they got? Who else they got? Says they can legit charge $100 for that fight. Man, that fight gonna be big. Says Ryan don't want the fight. Devin is in a very difficult situation. I think Devin will go in a Sabril Matias direction or something like that. I guarantee you, Devin Haney is not about to fight Sabril Matias. That's not about to happen. Says Devin got a lot of options to get his ass whooped again. Spread some jelly on Devin. That boy is toast. We got Big Dre in the building. What's going on, Big Dre? Big Dre say Devin is toast. Says he dropped that belt because he was shook. I think Devin dropping the belt is deeper than that. What you think, Ambrose Swift? Why you think Devin dropped the belt? I think it's not deeper than that. I honestly think he wasn't ready to fight again. I mean, I think he wasn't ready to fight again. I think this situation and this fight probably physically took a toll on Devin, but it affected him even more physically. Says the real reason Devin dropped the belt is because of that sad purse bid they had. It was a reality check for them that they ain't worth as much as they thought. Money makers don't go to purse bid. He should have kept his title. He gave away his own leverage. He did give away his leverage. Liam Parle just said Dev outpriced himself. Either he was worried about the competition in the WBC rankings or he did it for the court. Nothing else makes any sense. Says Dev ain't fighting Puello for the belt. Says T.O. will be the best comeback fight. T.O. and Devin will be a decent fight. But T.O. suing Bob Arum. So who knows when he'll get a fight. And you know Bob don't play. He'll put you on the shelf. Just like he did Mikey Garcia. Devin on his way to being blackballed in the sport. On his way. And that's the whole conversation we having right now, Crypto. Is that why he's saying Jake Paul is the face of boxing? Is he trying to get assigned with MVP Promotions? Ak Busy in the building. What's going on, Ak Busy? New Era say, I heard Matias got a fight lined up. Says there are so many boxing promotions out there. Lots of options if he's willing to take a pay cut. Is he willing to take a pay cut? Teach is the question. He wasn't willing to take a pay cut for the Liam Parle fight, according to Eddie. Eddie's already said he needs to take a pay cut. Says Devin Haney would beat Matias in my opinion, but the T.O. fight would be better. Devin Haney would beat Matias, maybe. 2 Cents Boxing, you know that ninja was shook. Yeah, he was shook. Shaking like a leaf. The belt was his only leverage. Another dumb move by him and his team. I don't know, y'all. I mean, we got to be honest, Boxing Hacker. Bill, at one point, we was like, okay, Bill, you know, he moving Devin right. He moving him strategically. He got him to youngest undisputed. But then now it's looking like, Bill, you didn't read the contract, Bill? Bill, you thought the pay-per-view numbers would be the same or similar to Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia, Bill? Really? I don't. Bill, you wanted Devin Haney to go in the ring and step to Ryan Garcia? That was your game plan for the fight, Bill? It's just, you know, at one point, even though Bill Haney got on my nerves, I was like, okay, I mean, you got to give him credit. He making some smart move. He putting Devin in positions. He doing what he need to do. He got the undisputed. He two division champion. But then it seemed like this Ryan Garcia fight just crumbled all of that. Like, he just did not make the best decisions for this fight. Like, you really didn't have somebody go over that contract with you, Bill, to make sure it said what you thought it said? I thought you was smarter than that, Bill. I thought y'all was smarter than that. That game plan that Bill had with Ryan Garcia, I couldn't believe it. I was like, at first I was thinking Devin must not have been listening to Bill's instruction in the corner. Because ain't no way Bill Haney told him to go out there and step to Ryan Garcia like that. The biggest, hardest, fastest puncher he's ever faced. B-Dog say him signing to MVP will be one step above signing to Misfits. Will that be will people feel some type of way if he signed the MVP? Like, would that look like he's taking a step backwards in his career if he signs with MVP Promotions? What you get? What y'all get what I'm saying? Like, and I don't. My 2 cents. I wouldn't say so because I do believe that Jake Paul is running a legit operation. I've seen what he's done with Amanda Serrano and the women's boxing. I wouldn't say he's taking a step back in his career, but I know a lot of people might feel like that. What y'all think? Give me your 2 cents. But at the same time, that's not necessarily a quote unquote boxing fan base, so to speak. But that might work for Devin Haney. He may be able to go over there with Jay. And this is the thing, you know what? Sometimes Bill Haney, he I don't know. Like sometimes Bill Haney do stuff and it's like, damn, that was smart. And sometimes Bill Haney do stuff, it's like, damn, that was dumb. But let's think about this. Devin Haney signs with MVP Promotions. He's able to get in front of Jake Paul's audience, which is huge casual fan base, and he's able to garner some of those fans for himself fighting on those undercards. Now he's building his casual fan base, right? What y'all think about that? I'm just trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to think like, why would you do this? At first, I was kind of like, "What, Bill? What's your angle with this? Which way you going?" But that might not be a bad idea for him to sign with MVP Promotions and build more of a casual fan base. But in order to do that, he's going to have to put on an exciting fight. And maybe the casual fan base, the Jake Paul fan base, they'll probably love Bill Haney. He talking shit, he doing this, he doing that, he all on YouTube, he all on the internet. Hey, maybe it might be a good idea. What y'all think? Says boxing hacker, you are smoking rocks again. I see. Phoenix say it's not even about taking a pay cut. It's about being humble to take what they're actually worth. We got time out with Mr. Moss in the building. What's going on, Mr. Moss? You preaching 2 cent. Shout out Mr. Moss in the building. Says Oscar had some Mexican mafia members in that negotiation. I'm sure he did. Says Haney dropped the belt because the purse was too low against his mandatory Sando Martin, so he decided to drop the belt. But does that make sense? Okay, so tell me if this makes sense to y'all. Okay. This my only leverage, and y'all not paying me enough for my leverage. So I'm gonna let my leverage go. And then I'm gonna go get paid more without my leverage. And that's the type of stuff right there I don't be understanding. Like, I don't get that. I don't get that. Says, but to be fair, the ticket sale was hard to predict. Logically, you would think Ryan would sell good with Devin. For however Ryan versus Tank was on pay-per-view, there's a difference between pay-per-view and paid streaming. Fox Hacker, I don't know what you're talking about. The problem wasn't stepping to Ryan. The problem was for 7 years, he'd been fighting shorter guys with shorter reach than him. He didn't know he can't fight someone the same size as him at the same range. That's what I'm saying, Phoenix the Assassin. If you go back to my live stream the day before the Ryan Garcia Devin Haney fight, I said, why do people think, because me personally, before the whole Austrian thing, I already thought that Ryan Garcia was going to beat Devin Haney because I felt like it was a bad style matchup. Ryan's best punch is a left hook. Devin drops his right hand. He leans to the right. He does all of these things that was going to get him caught, right? My 2 cents. I said the day before the fight, in order for Devin Haney to knock out Ryan Garcia, there's going to be some big. First of all, he ain't had a knockout in 5 years. I don't know why I think he about to knock out Ryan Garcia. And Devin Haney is going to have to take big risk in order to knock out Ryan Garcia. And will he be willing to take those risks? And obviously he was willing to take those risks, but it didn't work out. Says, remember Oscar and Bill said the fight came together quickly. Maybe Bill didn't have someone to go over the contract and had Devin sign without fully understanding the contract. I think that's what happened. I really think that's what happened. It says Dev about to be the Don King, man. So then what happens after Devin does a 12-round dud? That's a good question for him. You talking about as far as him fighting on the MVP card? I think that they would, they would have to, and I honestly really don't have no issue with what I'm about to say. They would have to move Devin Haney extremely strategically to put him back into position, which is exactly what they should do. That's exactly what they should do. They're gonna have to put him in the ring with somebody where he's gonna beat him, but it's gonna be an exciting fight. Period. Because he cannot afford to not be exciting. He cannot afford to get beat again. But maybe he can get beat in an exciting fight that's competitive, and he'll get respect that way. But whatever he's doing, he has to rebuild himself, and he has to get a legit fan base, one that's willing to support him. I'm not talking about people yelling and fussing on panels about him on the internet. I'm talking about a legit fan base where people are going to be willing to support him. Says, I think Devin will have to take a pay cut and fight to get a title shot again. And that's another thing. Like, can Devin really be competitive at 140 pounds? A lot of people were saying that Devin was weight drained during the fight, which I don't know why Devin's weight drained in his second fight at 140. But if that's the case, he's going to have to move up to 147. Devin's the new Broner. Come on, Shell. Devin is nowhere near Adrian Broner, bro. Adrian Broner is the youngest 4-division world champion who fought any and everybody, took all challengers, even though it was the dumbest shit in the world for him to be doing, moving up to weight classes he had no business being at. And Adrian Broner is way better than Devin Haney. Let's stop it. And then, you know what? I heard Bill Haney feeling some type of way about Adrian Broner fighting Blair Cobb instead of Devin Haney. Would y'all have wanted to see that fight? Would y'all have wanted to see that fight, Devin Haney and Adrian Broner? But I tell you what, that's the fight they should make next. That's the fight they should make next, Fahim. That's the fight they should make next. Adrian Broner and Devin Haney should fight on a Jake Paul undercard. But Jake Paul said this is his last fight in boxing and he's going to MMA. But that don't mean he's still not going to be throwing fights. So that's a good idea. Thank you, Shell. That's a good idea. AB and Devin. Adrian Broner should be Devin's next fight. Jake Paul does good for women's boxing. I think if he can get an entertaining under Jake Paul, then it will be good. Yeah, that sounds good. Says, I thought Oscar was going to cheat Dev regardless because the fight was on Golden Boy Promotions. They cheated them in the negotiations, but they really didn't cheat them in the negotiations. You just didn't understand the contract. Phoenix say, here's the question nobody is asking. When have you seen a guy held as a moneymaker in boxing ever have to go to purse bid? It's the boxing version of taking one for the team. Man, that's crazy. Says Devin could be the new Broner if he don't fix those faults in his fighting game. Devin will never be Broner. Like, Devin could never be. You can't even compare. I don't understand the comparison. I don't see how you comparison. Devin, what's going on, Frequent Flyer? Frequent Flyer, I'm putting a plan together for your boy Dev to make a comeback. I think we on to something here. What y'all think? Let's see. Phoenix say, never heard of Floyd going to purse bid or Canelo going to purse bid or Tank going to purse bid because promoters knew they were going to make money. Absolutely. A purse bid is basically, hey, who's willing to pay for this? Because we ain't about to make shit. Oh, man. That's a good one, Phoenix. Says Devin got some L's coming for sure. Says, don't disrespect Broner like that. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why he keep trying to compare Devin Haney to Broner. There's no comparison at all. But I do want to see them in the ring. Even though I'm not gonna lie to y'all, Devin Haney will probably beat up Broner. But it'll still be a good fight. Broner is not better than Devin. He definitely was better than Devin in his prime, though. He probably not better than Devin now because he's old and fat and out of shape and been drinking and pretty much done as a boxer. But he definitely was better than Devin in his prime. He needs to start by admitting it wasn't just the eye stream. He did everything right, Shell. He did everything right. Devin can rematch Ryan at 147, then go fight Broner. I think he should fight Broner first, kind of like a tune-up, and then go fight Ryan. Because listen, Broner has a cult following. I'm an Adrian Broner fan. I know damn well Adrian Broner is about to get his ass whooped in a fight. But I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch the press conferences. I'm going to watch the interviews. I'm going to watch his IG lives. Because Adrian Broner's just, I don't know what it is about AB. He's just entertaining. And he's very genuine. Even with his BSing, his messing up. I've never seen a boxer get as many chances as Adrian Broner. Never. Till this day, Adrian Broner still get chances. Till this day. Says AB hit way too hard to be compared to Devin Haney. That's facts for him. That's facts. Says AB was never undisputed. Haney way better. Y'all bugging. You gotta stop this, dog. Okay, he was undisputed, but that doesn't make you necessarily better because you were undisputed. Because you beat George Kambosos for all of the belts. Come on, guys, cut it out. Devin might sue AB for alcoholism. Crazy. Broner got cheated by Broner definitely got cheated by Maidana. Nobody ever want to bring that up and mention that though. But Broner definitely got cheated by Maidana. Says I meant Devin is the Broner after the Maidana. What? Say if Devin doesn't rematch Ryan, then I don't give a fuck who that hoe ass nigga fights. I don't fuck with soft boxers. Okay, Crash Crypto. Let them know how you feel then. It says Haney was still too damaged after the fight. So when the mandatory was called on him to fight Sando Martin, Sando's team forced the purse bid, which Devin could not comply with, as his layoff would be too long to fight again. But honestly, though, when you check Devin Haney's box rec, he's still suspended. Which I think that's about. Was Broner ever even unified? What does that have to do with anything? Flyer frequency. He's the youngest 4-division champion. Unified, undisputed. That doesn't make a boxer not good or good. It doesn't. Was Floyd Mayweather ever undisputed? No, he wasn't. Thank you. Cash Crypto, you didn't like Devin before the Ryan fight? Says Ryan don't want the fight. Dev may want to fight, but if Ryan didn't want to fight, then there is no fight. Obviously, Devin doesn't want to fight because he's filing a lawsuit. So I don't know how you could come to that conclusion. Devin need to fight that court battle first. Yeah, Devin need they having their rematch in court first. AB will walk soft ass Devin down. Man, that sound good for him. We would love to see just a sprinkle of the old AB. But he didn't look too bad in that Black Cloud fight. I think when he got knocked down, he hurt his shoulder. So, but ain't no telling. We all know AB done. But that's my guy though. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Devin Haney. It's a big name. It'll be a big name on Devin's resume. He probably will be the favorite in that fight. He should fight him. Blair Cobbs can get undisputed versus Kambosos. They not in the same weight class, bro. Says, you don't think Broner would have washed Kambosos? People too much on that win. Man, Broner would have washed Kambosos. And that's what I'm saying, B-Dog. They want to keep like throwing that title around, like, and saying it as if, oh, I went after all the dogs in the division. I just cleared out the division, when that's not even what happened. Broner is the best dancer as a professional boxer. Please respect that. The best dancer? I ain't gonna lie though. Teofimo can dance pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. Who y'all think the best boxer is? Best dancing boxer is? I ain't gonna lie though. T.O. It might be a close tie with T.O. and AB. Says AB is better than Devin based on what? Never mind. Devin is better than AB based on what? Honestly, Devin ain't got no power for AB to have to worry about. So the AB fight is 50-50 in my opinion. Nah, that's a reach, Cash Crypto. I don't know about 50-50. I ain't even about to do Devin like that now. Come on, y'all. We got to be realistic. Devin versus Ryan may not happen because Ryan said he not letting Devin make another dime off his name. I mean, I guess that's understandable, Dre. Somebody say Prince Nassim is the best dancer. Okay. Says Bronner don't let his hands go enough for me. He don't let his hands go enough. That's why Devin will probably beat him. At one point, AB let them hands go. But once he started moving up, and then after that Maidana fight, psychologically it kind of messed him up. Says basically, I'm saying what Oscar said. Haney is shot like AB after the Maidana fight, but we don't know that yet. We got to see Devin in the ring. We got to see Devin in the ring. But honestly, I don't want to say he's a shot fighter, but I do think mentally that this whole situation, from the fight to the lawsuit to the criticism that he's getting to his stock going down, which I mean, the whole stock going down thing, how much was Devin Haney really making, and how much did your stock really drop? Because I think the thought was after this Ryan Garcia fight, if you beat Ryan Garcia, your stock was just going, you know what I'm saying, shoot through the roof. That would be my question about that. We got Gregory Quarter Bomb in the building. What's going on, Mr. Greg? It says AB versus Haney will be a fun fight, and he could even in his dismissed state could still beat Devin. Oh, diminish. He could even in his diminished state still beat Devin because Haney chin is suspect. The promo will be fun, and I could see AB getting both of them angry. That's what I'm saying. That'll be a good fight. We gotta start pushing for the AB Devin Haney fight, y'all. Says Devin losing to the first thorough ninja he fights without a few soft touches first. We got to see how Devin reacts to getting hit again. Nigga might fold soon as he gets cracked again. Cash Crypto. Cash Crypto, what's up with you and Devin, man? But yeah, I think Devin don't need to fight no punches for real. He don't need to fight no punches for real. Not right now. Like I said, they need to move Devin very strategically. Says, yeah, I think he received trauma from Maidana. Absolutely. Says AB would have walked the shit out of Devin. BBL ass. BBL Devin. Laugh out loud in the scene. Jay, stop please. Just cause T.O. can do backflips don't mean he can dance. Man, hold on, y'all. I got some. Let me drop this link real quick. It's been about an hour. I've been up here. Man, that was quick. I've been talking about this for an hour. That is crazy. Let me drop the link. All right. Let me pin it to the top of the chat. All right, link is in the chat. Said Floyd was dancing with the stars. Nah, we ain't talking about that type of dancing. He was better off getting knocked out by Tank. I agree. Says Devin nightmares of left hooks and essential boots. Oh man. Broner versus Rolly. People did want to see that Broner versus Rolly fight at one point. I think they actually tried to make that fight, but Broner was like, hell no. He should have fought Rolly though. I can see Dev declining. That theory blows accumulate. Oh, that heavy blows accumulate. He's suing Ron Garcia for battery. His mentality is shot. I agree for him. I think mentally this is taking a toll on Devin, man. Like seriously, if I was Devin, even when Devin was like, I'm gonna take a year off, and I was like, why would you take a year off with Haney? Why don't you stay active? So when he come back, you can just fight him. But then I was like, you know what? You probably do need to take that year off and just completely reset yourself. Stay off social media. Just be in the gym, just training and getting better. And then you come with the lawsuit, and it's like, and then you do it publicly. They should have did the lawsuit, but they shouldn't have did it publicly, man. And I think Bill Haney thinks he's like some type of advocate for boxing, and it's gonna make some type of changes and make things different. But we gonna see, Because I do believe, like, if I'm a promoter and we doing a contract, like, you do know you can put things in contracts to say if something happened, you won't sue me. We'll just go to mediation. So who's to say that these promotional companies or whoever making these contracts won't be like, oh, you can't sue me, we'll just go mediate it. Like, it's just that simple to X that out. Says AB came back in the later rounds. Dev just got beat up. That was AB's best fight. Real talk, Cash Crypto. That Maidana fight was AB's best fight. Says Dev might have had his jaw broken in that fight. They said his jaw wasn't broken. Mr. Moss, you hit it on the nose. AB versus Rolly now. That is fun for certain. AB could fight Rolly now. I think Rolly has peaked. I think Rolly has reached his peak. Even though I'm not gonna lie to y'all, and y'all gotta be honest. Y'all, I know y'all don't like Rolly. That pit bull fight was Rolly's best fight. That was his best performance. And he tried to use his jab. He tried to box. He tried to box pit bull like Ryo did. It's just that's not Rolly's style. Like, he's not a boxer like that. But that's the best I ever seen Rolly look. And y'all got to be honest about that. Rolly lost that fight, but that's the best. That was his best performance. That was his best performance. We got Phoenix the Assassin in the building. What's going on, Phoenix?
Hey, what's good with it?
What's up with you? What you got? What's your 2 cents?
Shoot, what I'm thinking is this whole situation with Devin need to get his head out his ass and start being real with himself about things. Cause like you were saying, you saw some things before the Ryan fight to let you know he wasn't gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot. There was so much. And I don't know if you've heard me say this before, so I say it here, but like looking at Devin, right? In like 2017 or 2018, that was when he moved down from 140 to 135. And from that time, he ain't fought nobody that's been his same height, close to the same reach, close to the same age or athletic ability, same weight, nothing until he fought Ryan. So it's going on 7 years of fighting guys that's shorter than him with a shorter reach that he has physical advantages over, and the rehydration too. So getting used to fighting at a certain range, that's something that's hard to break unless you're a boxer with that type of mentality where you can make those type of adjustments. And if you look at Devin as a pro, he still fight the same way he did as an amateur, still fight the same way that we seen him fighting that sparring footage they got with Tank, still fighting that same way now. No adjustments. And that's what hurt him. Like, I mean, shoot, even in the Lomachenko fight, after I think it was like around 9 or 10, he's back in the corner and Bill's telling him, hey, you gotta go to your left, or whatever side he was telling him to go to. He said, I tried that already. He figured me out. Like, never in my life have I heard a fighter, even somebody like Hassan and Dom, who got knocked down 6 times against Peter Quillen. He got knocked down 6 times in the fight. I ain't never seen nobody get knocked down 6 times in the fight that went 12 rounds and still made it to the end of the end of the fight. Even he wasn't in the corner talking about he was figured out or sounded like he was losing. Like, I ain't never heard no fighter who we knew was getting their ass beat talk about they losing in the corner like that or don't know what to do. But that alone let me know, like, hey, yep, Devin really can't make adjustments if he's saying something like that right there to his coach, to his trainer. So when Ryan steps in there, same height, same reach, about the same weight after they rehydrate, Devin don't have that in his mind to let him know, hey, I got to be a little more careful because I might think I'm at a good range because I'm used to fighting guys who can't reach me from this distance for like 7 years now, but he can. And his hands are faster. And he hits hard. So that's something that I feel screwed Devin up, apart from the fact that his fighting style ain't really changed. So going into the fight, looking how many times we done seen Devin get caught by the left hand, like against Linares, against Lomachenko, like it's hard to go back and find somebody who ain't catch Devin with a left hook. It's like they already know off instinct, oh, this dude can't deal with a left hook. We're going to just go ahead and throw that all night. And then that shit happened with Ryan. So like for me, looking at it like that, I can't, say that whatever they feel about Devin about him being the next Floyd Mayweather. Or some people say he the closest thing to Floyd that we got right now. Nah, his team got to go ahead and get all that out their mind and rebuild themselves based off what they are. That's the thing that gets people to become fans of boxers when they got a certain level of authenticity. Because people can tell. People could tell when fighters is being fake, when they're trying to make themselves be something they're not. Because how a person is, you see that in their fighting style. You can see that with Floyd. He was flamboyant, he was flashy, he was cocky, everything. And rightfully so, because look at what he was able to do in the ring. And the way that we see him act, we see he was able to do that to fighters in the ring. We see what he did in the sparring footage, we see what he did in the ring. Like Devin, it ain't the same thing. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. It just means, hey, if you want to market him on, his ring IQ, or his ability as a boxer, then go ahead and have him do things in the ring to show it, not get hit with the same punch, 52 times in one fight and then be crawling on the ground talking about, man, it was the ostarine that I couldn't make adjustments. Like, come on. And then the fact that he's suing. There's been so many fighters who've been through worse than what Devin went through from people who wasn't even on anything that you could say was illegal. And they didn't go back and sue. Like Miguel Cotto is one of the biggest ones. Miguel Cotto is one of the biggest ones. We've seen what happened with him and Margarito. He went back, got it back. He ended up breaking Margarito's face when they had that rematch. So the thing with Devin is like going forward, there ain't nothing wrong with saying, okay, I'm a boxer. You ain't got to try to be a power puncher. You ain't got to try to always be comparing himself to Tank. You ain't got to have his daddy always coming up and talking smack about other fighters trying to tear them down for the sake of lifting Devin up. They ain't got to do all that. You know, like look at Andre Ward. He ain't had to do all that. They marketed him off his ability. Shakur, he could do something like, hey, he's a silver medalist. They could market him. Look what Deontay Wilder did. He was a bronze medalist, turned his name into the bronze bomber, built himself off that. Why can't Shakur do that? Why can't Devin do that? Like these fighters just got to be authentic to themselves and stop trying to do all this hella extra stuff, overselling themselves, over promising, talking about they're gonna get knockouts and then come in and don't do none of that. Talk about it's gonna be like a decimation or whatever. I mean, shoot. Bill was saying there's gonna murder Ryan in the ring. And look what happened. Like they
Gonna
ain't
be
got
a
to do all that.
homicide for all that suicide
Exactly.
shit he been talking. Hey, that's the hottest
Exactly.
bar Bill ever spit. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Look, we
And
got
it
we
fell
got
flat on
Mr.
his face.
Greg, we got Mr. Moss, and we got boxing hacker new to the street. You let Phoenix finish up?
Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Like going forward, if Devin wants to rebuild himself, he got to do it in the authentic way and stop doing all this hella extra stuff that got him talked into an ass whooping in the first place. That's what he got to do because if he come back trying to do the same stuff, people ain't gonna buy it this time because they already seen what happened with Ryan. People is not gonna buy that. All the stuff he's saying about Osterine and everything. I mean, shoot, if Osterine is really that much of a game changer, ain't no reason why Kell Brooks should have stopped Amir Khan when they fought because Amir Khan was on about the same amount of Osterine too. So that's what I'm saying. Like going forward, Devin just got to be authentic and stick to what he is and not doing none of the stuff they've been doing up till now. They got to basically do like a 180 and go a different direction with that.
Yep. Let me respond. Give you my 2 cents. Now, I really thought that after this loss that they would come back with like a new marketing strategy, but it kind of seems like they run in the same place. So I'm interested to see how that'll work out for them. And I see Shell say that Shakur still fights the same as he did in the Olympics. And this is what people got to understand with amateur boxing and pro boxing. It's two completely different things. Like you fight two completely different ways. My son is an amateur boxer right now. He has dreams and admirations of being a professional boxer. So we're not training him to fight an amateur style, so to speak, because that's not where he's going to end up. He wants to end up as a professional boxer. So we're training him to fight in a manner that will be beneficial to him in professional boxing. And I know a lot of people give me a lot of hell and they give me a lot of scrutiny when I say this, but I do believe that Shakur Stevenson has peaked in his career. Unless
Yep.
he changes his style to be more of a quote unquote professional style, because he's literally trying to outpoint people in a professional boxing match, which I guess is cool, but now you're at a higher weight and people are punching harder, and that's not going to be working out for you. because now
Yep.
you're getting the criticism for having these boring fights and you running around the ring trying not to get hit. So, in my opinion, I believe Shakur Stevenson has peaked already in his career because of his fighting style. And all those, and I think the same thing will happen to Keyshawn Davis. Even though I'm kind of on the fence about Keyshawn Davis, y'all know I always say he fooled, but I don't know if I'm gonna commit to that yet. I'm just gonna keep watching him because if he gets better over time and changes his style and adapts more to a professional style, I think he could be pretty successful, especially over there at Top Rank because you know they're gonna match you up right. But these fighters have to change their styles and they have to widen their IQ. For a long time, Devin Haney was like, "Oh, he got this great ring." Because a lot of people was like, "Well, Tank can beat Devin. His IQ's better." Oh no, Devin got this great IQ. This great IQ. Well, you seen in the Lomachenko fight, and you seen in the Ryan Garcia fight that wasn't necessarily true. His IQ, his great IQ, didn't show in the ring that we so quote unquote thought that he had. It just didn't come out like that. I think
Nope.
Mr. Moss was up here next. Mr. Moss, what's your two
Oh,
cents? What you got for the show?
Hey, what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing?
What's happening, Mr.
Doing
Moss?
good. What's up, Mr.
doing
Moss?
good, doing
I'll be
good.
quick because I'm cooking, but I think homeboy who spoke just now hit everything on the head. For me, this goes back. This is why I always use the term, Greg, technical boxing, because there's going to be nights where you have to use a tool in your toolbox that you're not used to using, right?
Hmm.
And this is why I have to question a lot of boxers' training camps behind the scenes, their trainers. Andre Ward often talks about working on things that I'm not good at, right? He says he used to do hour-long training days. It didn't throw any punches. He just worked in the pocket, slipping punches, inside boxing, and so a lot of these fighters aren't complete fighters. And there's going to come a night where you have to use a tool, and we've all done some, do-it-yourself projects, and we didn't have the tool, and we find ourselves in Home Depot buying this tool. And so, same thing applies in the sport of boxing, and that's why I respect guys like Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather, right? And we're talking pure boxing now, right? Not personality. Now I'm talking strictly inside that square circle. And so Devin's got away with, talking a big game. I always thought Bill Haney, was becoming a diva. It was almost like Bill was fighting and Devin was the coach or trainer. You know what I'm saying? Kind of. I mean, I'm not going to put Sean Porter and his dad in the same conversation, but trainers like that, I don't like because listen, you have to be able to tell somebody inside your camp, Greg, no, like today, I'm working on this today. In my last fight, I didn't do this well. So the next maybe week or two, let's work on this. Or today, I ain't throwing no punches today. I'm doing this today, right? And so I got to question preparation. I have to question Devin Haney's team, those who are around him. He's wearing flashy gold and chains and looking all nice and buying big houses and cars. He's not going to admit this, but I think some of that has gotten to him and he's forgot what got him that, which was, every great athlete, and I'm gonna close right here, 2 cents. Every great athlete always says, I'm gonna let my team handle, what goes on outside the ring, but it's my job because the number one goal in any sport is to handle your business in your craft. If it was Barry Bonds, if it was Michael Jordan, if it was Floyd Mayweather or Serena Williams, it didn't matter what they were doing outside the ring, promotions, contracts, sponsorships, all that is null and void if I'm not handling the business inside the ring. And so I got to question Devin Haney's mindset. I got to question his team, and I got to question his preparation, and I have to question the technical skill set. And last point, I promise. I have to text, and the main reason why I use mentality is because you let Ryan Garcia talk you into a fight at the center of the ring, and we know Devin, that's not what you do, right? You don't fight for the fans. Now, people are not gonna like that statement, but again, you fight to get the win. And so you have to fight your fight, Devin. You had no business standing toe to toe, you know what I'm saying, with Ryan Garcia. And that shotgun jab and that, elementary style jab that he throws, like there's a lot of technical mistakes that he makes. It's just that nobody up until this point capitalized on it until Ryan landed that left hook. But again, there's just gonna come a day or a fight where you look in your toolbox and You ain't get that tool because guess what? In the last 15, 16 years, you ain't worked on it or you ain't bought that tool. And I think for me, that's why I'm big on technical boxing because if you're technically sound, you can, for the most part, you can get through a lot of situations in a boxing fight. But when you lack certain tools, this is what happens.
All right, all right. Thank you, Mr. Moss. And Mr. Moss, I agree with you saying with the technical boxing. And I think we're saying the same thing here. I'm just gonna say it in a different way. All that boxing stuff is cool, but you're gonna have to fight eventually. You're going to have to fight. You're gonna have to bite down and you're gonna have to fight. All that boxing stuff is not gonna get you through. So I kind of think we're saying the same things there, just in a different way. And I think that's what happened. It came down to he got into a position where it was time to fight and he wasn't able to execute. Next up we got Boxing Hacker. Boxing Hacker, what's your 2 cents?
Hey, two
Mr. Greg
cents.
is next. Go ahead. So
Awesome,
you ain't gonna
awesome.
get 30 minutes up here now.
All right, no problem. Hey, I
Yeah.
always hear this comparison with like Cotto and Margarito to what happened in Devin Haney. I think we have to remember one thing.
Oh, hold on, real quick. We got
Yeah.
VA Money Group in the building. We got Rick Timms in the building, and we all got crucial content in the building. What's up, y'all? Thank y'all for joining the live. Go ahead, Boxing Hacker.
Yeah. So when it comes to the whole comparison of like Cotto to like what happened with Devin Haney, remember one thing: Cotto didn't catch Margarito cheating. I don't know why people think that he did. He didn't catch him cheating at all. In fact, when asked after the fight, why do you think when they asked Cotto, why do you think you lost Margarito? He said because I got tired after the 7th round. And he said, and then they also asked him, hey, did you think Margarito's punches felt any harder? Cotto said no. The only proof that he ever showed was that face off where he showed a picture of like his handwrite being torn. He said, how do handwrites get torn like that? That was the only evidence that he ever said that of maybe to raise the question of Cotto cheater of Margarito cheater or not. So I always hear people compare it and say it's two totally different things. If he had got caught cheating and Margarito hit him with the plaster Paris, that might have been a totally different story.
Maybe.
And you also have to remember everybody said, "Oh, well, he got the guy in back in blood." The rematch was 4 or 5 years afterwards.
True.
So you know what? He got a rematch because he lost the fight. It wasn't because he knew that Margarito cheated. The person who caught Margarito cheating was Brother Nassim, Shane Mosley's old coach. Rest in peace, that brother.
Yeah.
So I want people to keep that in mind. And when it comes to everybody saying that, oh, nobody ever sues for cheating. You know what? People have sued for cheating. People have sued for steroid use. It has happened. I don't know why. It's weird that people think like this never happens. It's happened in the past. And so I mean, when it comes to people say that like Devin Haney doesn't make adjustments, so on and so forth. I they always talk about like the Linares fight. Devin Haney won almost every round of the Linares fight. He got hit with a clean shot. And I always go back to what something Kenny Ellis used to always say. He says these fighters train to hit you. They deserve to hit you because they train so hard. At the end of the day, it's a boxing match. Yeah, people will get hit. And you can say, oh, he doesn't make adjustments on the fly and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like every day, no matter how good you are in a boxing match, you're always gonna have a rough day out. I think maybe the Ryan Garcia, even despite the steroid use, which we cannot ignore, it was still a rough day out for Devin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just see him try to make adjustments, but hey, like I said, everybody's gonna have a rough day out. If you fight long enough, you'll have at least one rough day out. All the greats had,
That's fact.
So,
That's fact.
I think those things are important to remember when we start to judge fighters. Say, "Oh, this person can't box. This person's this and that." Yeah, you can say that, but this kid is 30. This kid is, I mean, I guess he's still 30 or 31, and for the most part, he's won most of the rounds he's ever fought in the pro ranks. So he can box. So I don't know why people want to discredit. I get, you don't like him, but don't discredit him so much that you forget these fighters' accolades, because if we start to do that to fighters, that's when fighters will stop wanting to make those big fights.
Kind of like how y'all do Tank Davis.
Nobody says Tank Davis is not a great fighter. I've always said Tank is a great fighter. The only problem I ever said about Tank is that I wanted him to fight the champions at 135. That was my
couldn't do because they was all at top rank.
Maybe not, but that's what I wanted, and that's been the topic of debate for Tank. Nobody said he doesn't fight great fights. Nobody said he doesn't fight, great people. Like everybody at that top 10 are great fighters. You know, at the end of the day, we wanted to see those big fights. We wanted to see Tank versus Loma. We wanted to see Tank versus Tio. We wanted to see Tank versus David. We wanted those answers. Those answers. Yeah, I get. There's always reasons, but it just to me it's just weird. There's always reasons for one person, you know. But I get it. I get there's reasons, but that's what we as fight fans wanted. You know,
all right.
I'm going with that. You know,
Mr. Greg, what's your 2 cents? What you got for the show?
Hey, let me be real quick. I kind of agree a lot with I think his name was Mr. Phoenix. He said a lot of good things that I was thinking. When we talk about the fighters today, gotta look at who was bringing them up and who's training them. The brain trust isn't there as it was years past or in another generation. You don't have the Eddie Futches and Nassim Richardsons, and I can name some others, Georgie Benton, all of those fighters, all of those trainers who had been fighters before, but they were also great teachers. You don't have good students, in my opinion. You have everybody, of course, influenced by Floyd, but none of them can do what Floyd did in the ring or what Floyd had done in the business of boxing. But they want to imitate the outcome. They want to have the flashy jewelry and pretty girls and the cars. They want to have that, but they don't want to do the work or have the people who help them be able to do all of that. And that,
Right.
I mean, a prime example of trying to do something in the ring was seeing Ryan look incredibly stupid trying to do a shoulder roll. That's something that you have to develop early in your career and be very effective. And those are the kind of things they don't have anyone to even show them. Sometimes they don't even really have the real skill to ever really master it. So that's one of the things you don't see. And that's why you see the outcomes of some of these fights and how these guys look. Plus, they only fight once a year. With Devin, I would have a great time watching him and somebody like Rolly or AB. That'll be just a fight you can enjoy. But the skill sets of the fighters is diminished to me because they don't put the work in to develop. A lot of them have talent, but you with a great talent, you got to have a great teacher. In Devin's case, Devin has some talent that's really, to me, he's not as fully developed as he should be, and that's because of who is handling him. They're handling Devin in a way that he's not going to go anywhere but where he is right now, where he's reduced to suing somebody who basically beat him because of a small portion of Austrian that embarrassed him so much that he hasn't really been able to admit he psychologically is not prepared, as you said, to bite down and accept the challenge that was in front of him. He got up, but he didn't know what to really do. Yeah, I mean, it's great to get up, but you keep getting up just to get put back down because you keep doing the exact same thing, getting hit with the same punch every time, says something about how you are upstairs. And that's just my opinion. I would hope that they would go back into the gym at some point and should be in the gym today, trying to work on those things as opposed to suing. But if you want to be Floyd, you got to do the work that Floyd actually did, regardless of whether you didn't like Floyd or not. He did the work. He had the brain trust behind him, not just in the gym, but he also had the brain trust behind him in business. So all of those pieces have to be there as well if you want to achieve that particular amount of fame. Yes, he pushed the lifestyle. That's what he marketed, but he did the work in the back. They saw the flash. They didn't see the substance. And that was where the problem was. We talk about fighters suing. Now, I think we was talking about the last time I came on. Joey Gamache did sue the New York State Athletic Commission, and he won, but there was no monetary damages. They just said, yeah, they was neglectful, but they didn't. The judge ruled it was kind of crazy to how the judge ruled that. He said they were neglectful, but it didn't rise to the level that caused him to lose or get hurt in the fight. So that was kind of crazy, but that's what happened with that lawsuit. I think they also talked about John Ruiz suing James Toney. There's really no more information about how that turned out. So,
Yeah, these people when these people are, because I looked up earlier, how many people have sued Bob Arum?
quite a few.
And I got quite a few names. I got Mike Garcia, Manny Pacquiao, Oscar De La Hoya, Terrence Crawford, now Teofimo Lopez. What be the outcome? Do they just settle out of court? Like, what happens with these lawsuits? What happened with Terrence and Top Rank's lawsuit? Did they settle? Did he drop it? I heard they
They
settled, and
settled.
I heard he
They
dropped
settled on Terrence and Aaron. Aaron.
it.
Yeah.
They
That one was
settled it.
settled outside of court.
Most of
Okay,
the time,
okay.
that's what happens. They settle because if you start going into court, you're spending money, and sometimes you got to then supply documentation. You got to supply your books for different things, and nobody wants to be opened up for that. The last time that Bob had to open up his books, if you recall, him and Don King got in big trouble. They both
Yeah.
got fined, and they don't want to go down
And
that
I think that's what Bill and Devin is doing. I feel like they're trying to get a settlement of some sort. Because I'm no judge or lawyer, or nothing, but I really don't see them winning this case in court. But Oscar De La Hoya has already told him to audit my books, so he allegedly already wants the smoke.
you can still end up winning, but still don't get no monetary damages. Like I said, that's what happened with Joey Gamache. They say yeah, but no money.
Yeah,
So
like it's basically like you right. You paid all this money just for us to tell you
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
that's what it really amounted to. But I just hope that to get these fighters stop the soap opera. I mean, every week we doing more, if you will, doing more than they're doing just by discussing this. They're
Yeah,
they're,
it's
they're
been really slow. It's been really slow. It's a
yeah,
lot of
it's kind of
drama.
disappointing, and after a while, it does tend to cause people to get tired of wanting to, don't even want to be bothered with fighting because we glamour for certain fights, and the fights that we actually get at the time that we want them is not what we're looking for. I mean, everybody, I want to see Tank. I want to see him with some names that I know. I'm not going to be mad that this is the fight that he got. I'm not happy about it. I would rather see it a fight that I could get more excited about. But that's what keeps happening. And more people just decide, I'm not even going to be bothered with watching this fight anymore. Or they won't pay for it. They may, as you know, it's easy
And
to
that's
kill the
and we could switch gears here about the fans slamming the Tank versus Lamont Roach fight.
fight.
What I
I
can't
got something on
understand
that.
is it's one or two people that people really, really want to see Tank fight. And every time he makes a fight, and then we could take Devin out. Let's just take Devin off the table. He's not available. It's Shakur Stevenson. Every time he fights somebody, if it ain't Shakur, it's this big hoopla. We gonna downplay every other opponent he wants to fight. They trash, they prospects, they this, they that. And I don't understand why. When another fighter does something like that, when Terrence Crawford goes off to fight Davian Avanesian, he just doing it for the bag. When Shakur Stevenson about to fight, pull up Joe Cordina off a knockout loss, he having to stay busy fight. Like all of those things are acceptable and okay, but when it comes to Tank Davis, it's just narrative after narrative, which a lot of narratives I've killed on this channel, and people want to continue to just downplay and hate. He's a 30-year-old prospect, and I don't know if you was here at the beginning or maybe it wasn't at the live. I think I said it on a video I made. If Tank Davis is a prospect, he's the world's best. He's the best prospect in boxing history. So
Somebody
even
actually said that.
yeah, they keep calling Tank a 30-year-old prospect. And I'm like, even in y'all criticism of trying to call this man a prospect, he's the best prospect boxing has ever seen. The man's a 3-division champion. He on pay-per-view. Like, ain't no other prospect ever did that.
I'm
So
telling you.
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just I don't
I could
understand
dismantle
the
all day.
criticism. What you got, Phoenix? What you got?
See, because you're the thing with Tank, right? Looking at his career, and I've said this before. Like me personally, you look at any fighter in boxing, you're gonna see like their first 15, 20, even sometimes up to 30 fights, they can go without getting the title shot. They can have guys on their records that are journeymen, guys that got like 70, 80 fights, and they're almost, 50-50 with their records. So you got to look at what happens after they first become a champion, after their first title fight, right? So like Tank, his first title fight was a 17th fight. For comparison, you got like Oscar De La Hoya, he got a first title fight in his 12th fight. Floyd in his 18th fight. I think Manny Pacquiao's first title shot was his 22nd fight. It takes a while to get up there. I mean, like, look at Boots. He didn't even get a title fight after having 30 fights. He got, he got the belt after they had stripped Bud. So, I mean, like, he didn't even get to fight a champion for the belt, and he had 30 fights in, right? So, every fighter is going to be different. They're not always going to get that shot at the title at the same time. The other thing is, people not really being real about stuff. Like, they complain, like you were saying about Shakur right now, right? Shakur's first fight at 135 was against Yoshino. After that fight, Mauricio Suleiman named him mandatory for the WBC title. So you got to ask yourself, should Shakur have gone after the title or passed it up to try to fight Tank at that point? In his second fight at 135, where we know that's Tank's natural weight, and we see how he's been demolishing people. At the same time, like looking at Devin's a safer bet because they know that he's not going to hit as hard as Tank. They know his punching power, his speed isn't as explosive as Tank's, and he was the mandatory, right? So that gets him a shot at that WBC belt either way. Tank, he has mandatories already. He had Rolly, who was a mandatory. Then he fought Hector Garcia. Then he fought Ryan Garcia. And of course, at this time they were discussing that Tank was in jail. So he couldn't even have been available to fight at that time when Shakur and Devin was, doing their whole thing about that 25%. Tank was unavailable. That's why he fought twice so soon. He fought in January against Hector, then fought Ryan at, April, because he knew that he had jail coming up. So Tank wasn't going to be able to fight the rest of the year off that. And he already fought twice for the year. So people ain't really being real about that because they're thinking, oh, well, how come he didn't, do Shakur? Well, how is he going to fight while he was in jail? And then what happened with Devin? He left the weight class. People ain't really looking at things like this. They're just looking, oh, fights ain't happening. And the only reason that Tank is looking so good and making money is because he's not fighting these other guys. And they have this weird way of tying the amount of money somebody is making in boxing to how easy their opposition is. They did the same thing with Floyd Mayweather. They're doing the same thing with Canelo right now. So that's what they got in their head, that if a fighter is at the top as far as money goes, that it means that they took an easy route to get there and their opponents ain't really nothing. But when you look at their actual opponents, you see that all of Tank's opponents after his first title fight ranked top 10 in any sanctioning body, WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO, all top 10 or champions or undefeated or a combination of multiple of those things, right? But people is not paying attention to that. They're saying his resume is trash. He ain't fought nobody. So I'm like, well, be real about who they fighting. In every era of boxing, you're going to have 3 or 4 people that's at the top in whatever weight class you in, right? There's those 3 or 4 people. So that's the problem with boxing fans. They say, oh, well, they're not fighting these top guys. Oh, well, then they should only fight the... But at the same time, they say, oh, these guys don't fight often enough. It's boring. They're not fighting often enough. They're being on the shelf. It's a waste of talent. And then you get a situation like this where everybody Tank has tried to fight or has been speculated to fight recently. Rayo Valenzuela, he said he had the rematch with Pitbull. Pitbull had the rematch clause. He was out. Shakur hurt his hand. Devin, he out. Teofimo got the thing going on with Bob Arum and Top Rank. Lomachenko decided to take the rest of the year off. They have Pero, he about to fight somebody. They had a different thing going on with WBC at 140. So they got Lamont Roach is available. And it's like, okay, all those guys couldn't fight. This guy's available. Tank is closer to 130 than he is to 140. He just weighed in 133 in his last fight. What's wrong with the champion in that situation? But then they say, oh, well, he's just padding his record. When at the same time, they say that he's staying too inactive if he didn't take another fight this year. And boxing fans don't really have a way of thinking about these things logically. That's why so many of them get so upset and so confused and wondering why isn't this fight happening? Why is he fighting this guy and all this and that? Because they're just not being honest with themselves. And that's the biggest problem. Like whenever it comes to the disappointment with the sport, it's not on the fighters most of the time, it's the fans. And until the fans start like being real about this stuff, that this is going to continue to be something that they're disappointed about. But you always hear them, well, we don't care about that. We just want to see the best fight the best. And
Yeah,
then,
I
and that's
agree.
why you end up in this situation.
I don't know if you was here at the beginning, when I started my live, but I was saying that exact same thing. Like maybe if y'all just cut a little, because it takes a conscious effort to really understand what's going on in boxing. Just cut a little bit below the surface and look behind the scenes a little bit, and you'll have a better understanding, and you won't be so emotional and upset about what's going on. But I agree with Mr. Greg. Is I feel like the training these boxers are, because even I've had people come to the gym with me where my son trains at, and they're even like, the trainers, they don't do nothing. They on their cell phones. They just sending kids over to punch on the bag. They not making no adjustment with the kids. They letting the kids make, basic fundamental mistakes. And so I feel like what you end up noticing is you see these prospects, right? They coming up, they look good, but the moment they step up the competition, you see them struggle.
Hmm.
You see them struggle. And that's why I'm kind of like, I'm kind of maybe changing my stance on Keyshawn, because I'm seeing him step up his competition and he's growing also. You get what I'm saying? He's growing also. So what happens is you have fighters on a level. I'm just using this for an example. You got fighters on floor 5, and then you got fighters on floor 2 or 3, and then you get upset with the fighter on floor 5, but it's not his fault that he's just levels above these fighters. And you think everything would be a 50-50 fight, or this would be a 50-50 fight, when you can see that this fighter is levels above these fighters. I honestly believe that Tank Davis is levels above all those fighters from 140 down. Now, I feel like Jerron Boots Ennis displays a lot of talent and he's a very good fighter, but I can't necessarily say that he's levels and levels above them. I
Thank
do
you.
believe that he will eventually be challenged, because he makes a ton of mistakes. He passed the eye test. He looks great, but I don't think he's unbeatable. I can say that. I don't think he's unbeatable, especially at 154 pounds,
That
which is where
defining
he
fight
needs to
hasn't
move up
come.
to.
Those
What'd you say,
defining
Mr. Greg?
I was saying those defining fights haven't come where they, as you had already said, they'd have to bite down and make a decision at that moment. Is this what I'm going to do? It should have happened earlier in their career at a lower level where you know it's already in you to make that decision. But if it doesn't come, maybe it'll come in that big fight where you have to decide, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to bite down. I'm going to have to go ahead and get down with this man. And sometimes the mentality of going out in your on your shield actually serves you well if you have the
Hmm.
skill set. But again, like I said, the brain trust behind the fighters, I don't see it. I see, as you just said, you see a lot of fighters, a lot of trainers on the cell phone. They see some guys who got some flash to them, put them out there a little bit, and then they say, well, we might can make a couple of dollars with him here and there and do it this way. And that kind of conversation does take place in gyms all over. Sometimes there's money being made at the lower levels with guys that we don't even have any idea how that money is being made, but it does take place. But at the top of the professional level, you have to have a whole team to do all of these things and to get you there, not just the marketing team and the promotion team, but you got to have an Emmanuel Stewart, an Eddie Futch, of Georgie Benton, those kind of guys who are really teaching you, who's watching. They're not watching for what you do well. They already know that. They watch what you're doing bad, where your flaws are, and how it can hurt you. And I don't think with a guy like Devin, nobody was seeing that. Somebody had that seen that Devin was open for the left hook. Somebody had.
A lot bunch of
Hmm.
people seen it and pointed it out before that fight, but people were so convinced that Ron Garcia was just such a trash fighter and he a underwear model and all of these
Mhm.
things
Yeah.
they were doing to try to downplay him. And what's crazy is I've been watching Ron Garcia his whole career. And I would even go back and forth with my husband sometimes, and he'd be like, "Oh, Ron Garcia just a YouTube fighter," and I'm like, "He can really fight. I don't know why you think that this man cannot fight. He's
Because
not
he
the
looks
most
good.
disciplined or the most serious, but he can fight."
Yeah,
You know what it
definitely.
is?
Definitely, Ryan can fight.
Wait, hold on, Mr. Greg. To your point, I think that Bullet and Rolly Romero is a perfect example of what you were just talking about. I see a fighter with some power. Let me snatch him up under my wing and, take him as far as we could take him, and then that'll be it. Because if you notice, just like I mentioned earlier, when Rolly left Bullet and he had his new trainer when he fought Pitbull, that was the best Rolly ever looked. That was his best performance. He's just not a boxer like that. So the game plan, he couldn't really implement it enough to be effective to win the fight. But he definitely looked better when he went back to his original trainer. You get what I'm saying? We got Mr. Boxing Fanatic in the building. What's going on? Listen, be sure to punch that like and subscribe button. We're on the road to 5,000. So if you haven't already, make sure you punch that like and subscribe button. Be sure to let me know and drop it below in the comments if you're listening to the replay of this live, your 2 cents about the conversation. And you can always monetarily support the channel by hitting me up in the Cash App at 2 cents boxing. We got Frequent Flyer in the building. What's going on, Frequent?
So, what's up, Freeman?
What's going on, Boxing Hacker?
What's up, bro?
2 cents. Who that?
What's
Phoenix
going
the
on? What's going
Assassin and Gregory. What's up, y'all?
Hey, what's going on?
What's your 2 cents? What you got for the show?
Salute to all the tanker bells out there. No, but
The Avengers assemble. I see I got 2
The
of them.
tanker maniacs are here. 2 cents.
Halo's praying in the building. You know what I mean? Y'all see this
Disgusting.
call in the bicep. No, but I heard you say, what was you saying? You said that Tank was better. You think Tank is better than everybody at 140 and 135?
I said I
Like
think Tank is better than everybody from 140 down.
levels above.
Levels above, yes.
So you think it's no way Tank can lose to anybody? He can't lose to Shakur?
That's not what I said.
Okay, I'm asking. I
don't think he will lose to anybody. No. Is it a possibility? I mean, it's boxing. Anything can happen.
I mean, you can't lose to somebody that your level's above, though. I think maybe the
Yes, you
wording
can.
is confusing. How
What happened to Devin with Ryan?
Osterin happened. You know what happened. Don't start, bro. You don't got Fanon here to help you.
That was an example. Levels
Fanon ain't here to
above.
put me on mute or nothing, bro.
No,
Or
but
throw
listen,
me in the
this is
back.
the thing. Just because your level's above frequency, that doesn't mean you can't lose a fight. Doesn't mean you can't have a bad night. It doesn't mean you can't have a bad camp. It doesn't mean you can't be fighting with an injury. Like, it's a ton of things that can come into play in order for you to lose a fight on any given night. So I'm not just saying
that's if it's competitive, if it's close. But you're saying he's levels above. Levels above mean that he can beat you with one hand, like he beat Pitbull.
Stop it,
or something like that.
Say all of that, bro.
I think 2 Cent more so
That's not
talking
what I'm
about
saying.
skills. Skillful,
I'm just talking about skill.
Yeah, that's what I think she's talking about, though.
Yeah, even
if
that.
the level's above,
I don't think that Tank is levels above Shakur skill wise. You think it's that the gap is that far that you
Absolutely.
can
No,
say
absolutely
he's
not.
levels
Damn
above?
Skippy.
I think
Absolutely.
Shakur is better.
Yes, I do.
Ever since Shakur moved up to 35, bro, we have saw a different Shakur, bro. He's
Not
not
really.
that same Shakur. He's not that same Shakur that he was. Of course, to looking at Artem type of fights, of course he is gonna look good to them type of fighters. Top Rank has the best matchmakers.
All right, let's set Tank to the side then. Set Tank to the side for a second. Is there anybody else out there at 135 that you think will beat Shakur that's better than Shakur?
That will beat him. I think Frank Martin will give him a good fight.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he will beat him.
Lomachenko.
Yeah, Lomachenko will give him a good fight.
You think Lomachenko is better than Shakur skill wise?
I think
Damn right.
It's close. I think it's close.
Yeah.
I have an example to point to that. I have an example to point to that. So look at Edwin De Los Santos and Shakur. Shakur set a record for the fewest punches landed by an opponent in a 12-round fight. Lomachenko tied that against Kambosos while standing right in front of him the whole fight and knocking him out. Shakur had to go halfway across the world in order to prevent that from happening. So, like, the fact that Lomachenko is able to stand in there in your face and limit somebody to that low of an output and knock them out, and Shakur can't do that except to remove himself completely out of the way to where nothing can be done. Like he can't even fire back with a counter. That's the
That's my
thing. Like,
issue. That's
But
his
wait,
issue.
Yo, I think you got that mixed. I think you got that whole thing mixed up.
But hold on,
Shakur
real
didn't
quick,
set
y'all.
the
I
record
didn't
for.
get paid in full his intro. We got paid in full on the panel. What's going on? Paid in full.
What's going on, okay? I'm just listening to y'all right now.
Okay.
The record was set for the less punches thrown between the two of them, not just
The least
Shakur.
punches
no,
landed.
landed by his opponent. The person with the record before that was Floyd when he had fought Marquez and limited him to like what 81 punches. Like Shakur limited De Los Santos, I think, to what was it, 67 punches or some shit over the course of the fight. Landed.
I
So
thought it was the
that's
total.
Because the
bad.
triangle theory doesn't work in boxing too, guys.
Wait,
so we have to
hold on.
remember
Is
that.
it the record of the least punches landed, period, between the both of them?
Landed by an
Yes,
opponent.
that's
I
what
know
it
for
is.
sure.
I was landed by both of them. That's for Shakur and De Los Santos. That was the least punches landed in a fight for both of them.
At least punches
Yeah,
thrown.
paid in
Basically, not
full.
landed, thrown.
You know the Tinkerbells be coming up here fabricating things a lot of times. A
What
lot of times
did
they
I
fabricate the
fabricate?
hate
What did
and
I
all that.
fabricate? Did
But you have
Shakur
to
not
remember
limit De Los Santos to landing the least amount of punches? Yes or no?
He
Lomachenko
did
also got
not set a
marked up,
record
though.
for the least amount of punches landed on an opponent. He didn't.
By an opponent.
Yes, he
It was
did in a fight.
it was the least
Yes.
most punches thrown landed in a bout, in a 12-round bout between the two
By
of
his
them.
opponent.
It wasn't just.
What?
It was between the two of them, man.
The least amount of punches landed by his opponent? That can't be true.
Well, my thing is
Yes,
this.
that is
It's
the
not
record.
true.
That
He's
is the record.
fabricating
That's the
that.
record,
It's the
because
least amount of
the
punches
fighters who
landed
did-
in a
the fighters
bout
who did
between the
that,
two
they
of them.
Fact check us real quick. Can somebody
Yeah,
in
it's
the
not,
chat
it's
fact
not
check?
impossible. There are literally rounds where the opponent didn't land no punches.
Yeah, he fabricating it, bro. It's
Vinny
between the
Pazienza,
two of them.
Roy Jones Jr. set a record for limiting an opponent to no power punches landed. That was against Vinny Paz. Floyd did that against Shane Mosley too.
Okay.
So I mean, we talking about like overall punches landed in a 12-round fight for an opponent. Shakur had De Los Santos limited to that. He set the record for that.
No,
But you're creating a
I
triangle
If
think
you
you're
want, if
mixing
it
it
was
up.
if it's the overall punches too, then that's two records that Shakur set. But he for sure set the
No,
record
it's not.
for the
It's not
least
both
amount
of
of
them.
punches his
That's the
opponent landed.
triangle theory, right? Like the triangle theories don't even work. So I don't know why we're bringing it up.
This isn't a triangle theory. Like, what the hell is you talking about,
It's a
crackhead?
triangle theory. It doesn't matter what he did to his opponent. We don't know until they fight who's gonna be the better. Like it doesn't matter what he
We're
did to his opponent.
not talking about them. We're talking about Shakur's record.
Listen. There are fighters who lose to one fighter and the other fighter beats him, and then he still beats the fighter to beat that one. Triangle theories.
We're not even talking about that.
What are you talking about?
Triangle theories don't work, man.
What the hell? Boxing hacker.
Yeah.
You've been hacked. Go put your firewall up, man. You're on the wrong subject.
That doesn't even matter. Got hit
It does matter.
Yo,
It doesn't matter. We're talking about what the record was, and we're talking about triangle theories.
Landed on his face.
What's going on?
In the fight. How about that?
Hold on, y'all. We got Big Dre new to the panel. What's your 2 cents, Big Dre, on what we got going on? What you got?
A good evening, panel. A good evening, frequent. Good evening, boxing hacker. Paid full, Mr. G. And
What up, Dre?
our host, 2 cents.
What's going on?
Well, first of all, I had to come up here because it was just too many Haney fans on the panel. I had to get in.
Avengers assemble.
Attack of maniacs in here.
I had to come in and offer my 2 cents.
What you got?
Well, first of all, y'all talked about the Lamont Roach situation. Now, if you go through Lamont's box rec, he has more fights above 130 pounds than Tank does.
Ooh.
Okay. Lamont Roach.
He started off at 140.
Right. So again, he has
147
more
actually.
fights. He has more fights above 130 pounds than Tank does. Okay, so He's not pulling somebody up. Lamont Roach is a world champion. Okay. Being from the DMV, I have run into Lamont Roach at a couple of different venues. I spoke to him the night he defended his title here in DC on Pro Box, and I asked him why is he still fighting why is he fighting at 130 when he used to fight at 135? He said, well, he came down to get a championship. He defended his championship, and he think he's ready to go back up to 135. Those are his words out of his mouth.
Who is he signed to?
He was talking. He's not signed to anybody. He's a free agent.
Hey, Tucson, can I go after him? I want to touch on what he was saying.
Yeah. And then,
Okay.
and yeah, I got a question too, Big Dre, as soon as you finish.
And so he not some bum, just pulled out of a hat. They got history. They fought in the amateurs. They sparred each other in the gym. They know each other. Their coaches know each other. So he didn't just pull him out of a hat. This was something that was planned as a backup, or that was enacted as a backup. Because when Lomachenko pulled out, I'm not going to use the D word, but when Lomachenko pulled out, Shakur became ultra quiet.
Pause,
And
bro.
when his
Pause on that
when his
pull-out.
team when his team
doing that.
Ain't that what I said?
When his team was contacted in reference to what their plans were, they decided to go in a different direction. So he started hanging out with Eddie, and ultimately signed with Eddie. Tank said he's not doing business with Eddie. That makes it a little hard to make that fight happen. You got Navarrete. Navarrete said he went. His camp said that they just went through a 5-month training camp before his last fight, so he's taking off the rest of the year. There was Edwin De Los Santos. Edwin De Los Santos, when his team was contacted, he was not yet cleared for surgery. I mean, cleared for boxing because of his shoulder surgery. I mean, it was a formality, but he had a shoulder surgery and he wasn't cleared to fight yet. So that kind of took him off the table. Not to mention, his last fight was a stinker. Between him and Shakur, they managed to throw less than 100 punches between the two in a 10-round fight. Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm glad
What
you brought
happened
that
here?
up. We got that right here on the screen. Somebody pulled the receipts. It says Edwin De Los Santos made CompuBox history tonight in WBC world title fight against Shakur Stevenson. His 40 landed punches are the fewest landed punches in a 12-round fight in CompuBox's 38-year
Which is what I was saying. Shakur kept him to the lowest amount of punches landed. Is that not what I said? And you said I was making it up? Come on
And I
now.
asked you, is that bad though? Is that
Hold on,
bad?
y'all. Hold on. We got Big Supreme on the panel. What's going on, Big Supreme? We got to give Big Supreme. What's your 2 cents about the conversation? What you got? Oh, real quick, Big Supreme, before you go, paid in full. What you got?
I was just going to touch on the situation with what he was just saying about the Lamont Roach situation. What it is, I think it's more so that a lot of people don't know who he is, and he's not on a. They're looking at the situation as if he's not. Somebody got mad background feed.
Well, I thought
Yo,
that was you, Paige. That was you.
no, that's somebody else.
Everybody go on mute.
Okay, but also that the situation. Tuesday, that's your mute.
Gregory need to go on mute. That's what I think it is.
Oh, that's not me.
No, that's you, Paige. I'm sure that's
No,
you.
that's not me, bro. That's not
Hey,
me.
go on mute for 1 second and come back.
I'll put me on mute so you can see.
You see? That's Paige. Do y'all see that? The feedback stopped when you went on mute.
Right, because I was in the process. right? Because I was in the process of talking, but it was louder than that before I actually started talking. But
It's
all right,
relaying off
so
your audio.
all right, but I was saying that a lot of people don't like the fight because they don't feel like if it's anybody outside of Devin or Shakur or the bigger names in boxing, then they're gonna shit on the fight no matter what. But I tell you one thing that a content creator won't do. If they don't like the fight so much, why even talk about it? Why make content about it? Why even talk
Because
about
they're
the
trying to get
situation at
money.
all? Exactly. So my thing is this: if you hate the fight so much, then don't even make content about the shit.
But
Ain't
Boots
nobody
wasn't
asking
sharing
you to
nobody
do
like
that
that
shit.
either. And people that hear
Now you asking the content creators to not get paid. They not gonna never do that.
No,
Nah,
yeah,
no,
talk
no,
people
no,
about it.
no, no,
understand
no, no,
like I
no,
didn't fight, and they still make
no,
content about it.
Just
no,
talk
no, no,
about
no.
something else then. Just say, hey,
Yeah,
this
that's what
fight
I'm
coming up.
saying.
I ain't really interested in this
No, the
fight.
thing is,
Then,
y'all don't like when somebody says something bad about Tank, but it's
How
okay
is
for
we?
people to
That's
talk
not the
bad about
case.
Devin all day long, even
you
when
can
it
That's
have
don't
not.
have nothing
whatever
to do with
And
opinion.
boxing.
Shakur,
No. We're not
because
talking. It's not about
they,
saying anything bad about us talking about our opinion. If they want to talk about their
Exactly.
opinion, cool. But don't try to make it seem and convince. I'm not convincing other people not to do something based off my opinion. I'm not doing
Exactly.
that.
What
That's
somebody
what
said?
confusing
Don't
me.
buy the Tank fight. I
Like, no,
never
you
heard
got
nobody say
motherfuckers
that.
out here. No, you literally got people out here talking about they staging beefs and all this shit. Like, bro, when you always know that Tank been talking on Twitter, bro. It's nothing new. So they're trying to make something out of pretty much make shit out of nothing, bro. Or trying to downplay the fight so much to the point where that shit is literally coming off as hate. But then they're in the same breath, they'll turn around and say that, oh well, when Shakur was fighting Cordina, it was about him chasing the money. That
but
ain't
but but people, but the same people that glorified the Tank fight were frying the Cordina fight. You know,
We
at the end of
weren't
the day, it is
flying it.
what
We
it
were
is.
just
we was
me
saying that he was
thoroughly.
coming off a
Joe was
knockout
saying
loss.
he's coming off a knockout
Oh
loss,
my!
and is there no other people that he want to fight? But if that's who he gonna fight, cool. But don't. My biggest thing was stop saying you want to be a pay-per-view star and saying you chasing greatness when really you're chasing the bag. That was my big.
Exactly.
That's the angle I was
But
taking
You,
it
you
for.
think who you talking about?
Hold on,
Shakur?
y'all. We gotta
the
let Big
bag.
Supreme go. We gotta let Big
Yeah,
Supreme
yeah,
go. What's
yeah.
up, Big
Go ahead,
Supreme? What
bro.
you got?
Now I'm driving, but I back everything that Paid in Full is saying. Like Lamar Roach has like 13 fights at 135 and 140. He's a champion. He moved down because he had a title shot with Herman. He didn't win, so he got another one with Hector Garcia. He got that. Now he's getting a Tank fight. Now I believe Roach's father's his promoter, and they work with Pro Box, so they got a relationship or whatever. So he's technically like a promotional free agent. And I don't have no problem with the fight. You know, they got a long history. They got a rivalry with DC and Baltimore. They fought in the amateurs a couple of times. They're about the same size, and Roach can fight. All I'm saying is, a lot of these content creators that show that they casuals, bro. Like if you don't got a name, they say that the fight is whack. But then if you look at anyway, he fought TJ the homie, and nobody said nothing. He fought Marlon Tapales, who got knocked out 2 times and had 4 losses. Nobody said nothing. You look at Canelo fighting Berlanga and Mungia. Nobody says nothing. They giving Berlanga all the praise in the world for making the 12 rounds, man. He's doing parades in Puerto Rico and coming back home.
What? He got a parade?
Yeah, he had a parade.
But
He
but
just
why you saying?
Oh
But Big Supreme,
no.
why you saying ain't nobody saying nothing? People have been complaining about Canelo not
Yeah,
fighting
which
Benavidez
content
nah,
creators
see,
forever.
this
y'all
the difference
talking
though.
about?
Hold on, frequent. This the
Oh.
difference. When they mention Canelo, they say he could do whatever he wants. All his fans say he can do whatever he wants. He's the man. He's the face of boxing. He's getting 80%. This, that, and the third. I don't know if you remember when the narrative was that Al Heyman was broke and he couldn't afford Canelo. Do you remember that? All of the old Al Heyman doesn't have money in escrow and they're going broke and they bankrupt and all this other stuff, man. Like, but with his Tank, it's like they don't want to respect his A-side, man.
Yo, Canelo fans is gonna ride with Canelo regardless, just like Tank fans is gonna ride with Tank, and Devin Haney fans gonna ride with them. Shakur fans gonna ride with him. So
That's the
you
truth.
know that you can't complain about uh his fans, Canelo fans saying that he
No,
could do
what
what
I'm
he
saying
wants
is I'm
because
pointing out
Tank
the
fans say the
double
same thing
standards
about
and the
Tank.
hypocrisy, bro. That's what I'm pointing out.
The
All right,
You
same
y'all.
understand
people
what I'm
that's
Let
saying?
me go.
cooking
Hold on,
Canelo
hold
about
on.
his stuff is cooking
Let me
Tank about
go.
his.
Let me go through the panel real quick. It's 7 o'clock, so I want everybody to drop their last 2 cents. before I hop off the show. We're gonna start with you, Big Supreme. Give your last 2 cents and close us
Uh,
out.
I don't really got much to say, man. Salute to everybody. You know, I love your show, 2 cents,
Thank you,
and
thank you.
I'm out.
All right, thank you, Big
All
Supreme,
right,
for
Big
joining the
Supreme.
channel. Big Dre, what you got?
Well, what I got is, um, first of all, thank you for allowing me to come up and express myself. Um, and I think the y'all were talking about Devin earlier in the show, and like I said, then we might as well spread some jelly on that boy because he is toast. His he broke something. He broke something mentally
Yeah, I
in that
agree.
fight with Ryan,
I agree.
and he immediately said that he did not want a rematch. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
as a fighter, as a warrior, as the person he showed he had that heart in the ring by getting up those 6 times, but um, he didn't show that heart when they stuck that microphone in his face and asked him, "So are you ready for a rematch?" He says, "No, I don't think I want to fight him again." And this was immediately after the fight. That's I think he lost his warrior spirit, and I think it's still gone. Um, Listening to him in the Andre Ward interview, um, he he said he wanted to get it back in blood, but he just didn't have that conviction in his voice. That's all I got. I'm quite sure that boxing hacker and frequent gonna have something else to say about it, but um, that's my 2 cents.
Right, Big Dre.
All right, thank Big Dre for joining me up here on the panel. I'll see you again. I'll be back live on Friday.
Yeah, let me go ahead and go next.
Go
So
ahead.
Big Dre can hear me on his way out, and it won't be like I'm talking about him behind his back because he still can hear me. I already knew Big Dre was ranking high in the Tinkerbell's army, so I already knew he was going to jump up here, sprinkle on fairy tale dust, and fabricating stuff. And he was talking about Eddie Hearn, Shakur signing with Eddie Hearn, keeping him away from the Tank fight. But, Eddie Hearn did an interview, saying that when he signed with Shakur, part of the deal was for him to stay away from making, trying to interfere with a Tank fight or try to even make a Tank fight because Tank don't like him. And people took that the wrong way, thinking that, he was trying to not fight Tank. But no, he told Eddie to stay away so he can get a Tank fight because he knew that would mess it up. So Eddie won't be involved if he get an offer from Tank. But
It's almost just kind of like why even put that obstacle in the way though?
Exactly.
because was he supposed to stand still and wait for Tank to send him an offer?
No,
Who was he
that's not
supposed
what
to
I'm
not fight? Tank
it's almost
about to
like
fight other people?
See, that go to excuses.
it's
How's
weird. But
that an excuse?
go ahead, frequent. Come on, we gotta shut it down.
That's it. Yeah, that's mainly the gist of it. I just wanted to address that, and salute to everybody on the panel. Salute to everybody in the chat, and we out.
All right, thanks for joining me today, frequent. Phoenix the Assassin, what you got?
I'll go ahead and say this lawsuit Devin doing that's very soft. That's very soft. And then the only thing softer than that is Shakur's fist. And that's how I feel about that. But overall I couldn't resist. But yeah, man, coming up here with the better beer and Bivol fight, that's what I'm looking forward to. So, I'm hoping that it's entertaining, lives up to the hype, and then at the same time, the undercards. I mean, since Shakur ain't fighting, don't know. I mean, they got some people on there, but yeah. Apart from that, I think the show is pretty good. I ain't been on your panel before. Appreciate hearing your thoughts because we ain't really chopped it up for real. So hearing your points on everything, hearing your takes on everything, pretty dope. So I'll definitely be tuning in more often.
All right, I'll be live Friday about 6:30.
All right.
All right, Boxing Hacker, what you got?
Hey, what's up, y'all? So, I mean, I know everybody's trying to hype up the whole Tank fight, I'm hearing what y'all are saying. But for me, I just can't get excited about Tank fighting a guy named Roach. That's
what the issue is.
That's why I can't do it. I can't get excited for that. But You know, but at the end of the day,
Well, let me ask you a question, Hacker. Was the Hector Garcia fight better than you thought it would be?
no, I feel like it just. I was actually at the fight too at the Capital One Arena. It was okay. I think what was interesting was the beef between McMills and the Russell fight, the Russell brothers. But the fight ended up the way I thought it was going to end up.
I mean, of course, but was it better than you thought it would be?
No, not really. I can't say.
Of course.
Like, yeah, like so for me, what makes the fight interesting is like you know when they're similar. Like you have to question who's going to win. You know, like I feel in my mind when I walked into
it's going to be very difficult for Tank to get a fight like that, though.
Shakur, I think there's a question. You know, there's a lot of fighters that I feel like there'll be a question who will win. You know, some people say that Shakur will win. Some people say Tank will win. Even Lomachenko, I think there will be a question. Like what kind of Lomachenko pulls up. You know, but with Roach, I feel like he's gonna be a 3 million to 1 underdog. You know, like people are gonna bet their life savings on Tank Davis on that fight. You know. That's what I think, you know.
Oh man,
kind of like how they was going, how that Joe Cordina Shakur fight was going to turn.
Exactly, yeah. Just bet your whole life savings, you know. Put your kids' college tuition into that, you know, to get something back. And you know, for the Devin Haney situation, like I said, like I think Devin's gonna have a comeback. I know people have been hating, telling about he's gonna be toast bread or whatever they said, but I think he's definitely gonna have a comeback, you know. You know, I think that Devin, you know, at the end of the day, he fought Ryan. Ryan did cheat, even though we keep trying to undermine it. But throughout his career, he's been pretty good. You know, I think he's done a lot for his career. I think he still has a bright future. He's still young to jump back. With that being said, Susan, I know me and you don't always agree, but I always appreciate.
We don't hardly ever agree.
We will never.
I appreciate you, Boxing Hacker. That's what this channel is about. That's what. Exactly
much love to you. All right,
all right. Thanks for coming up here and joining me today.
All right.
Paid in full. What you got?
What's going on, Tucson? Salute to y'all. Obviously, salute to you as well. Keep doing everything that you're doing. But my issue is this. I don't like the Devin situation. I think it's weak. But obviously he is on man. So regardless of what we say or what we think, he's gonna do what the hell he wanna do. So I don't really put too much energy off into that. But when it comes to the Shakur situation, like I said, when he moved up to 135, he hasn't been like those performances that he had at 130. He doesn't have those same performances no more. So, and I also notice it's like every time it comes to him or him fighting somebody that's like a threat to him, it's always there ducking or something like that. And I'm not gonna lie, he was the most duck fighter in 2023. I can't give him that, but now it's just like they put a tag on everybody else but Shakur. Like he's able to make fights as well. He's almost the A side to everybody except Tank when it comes to that scenario. So I don't like when people say that they're not on the same level, but obviously they're probably not on the same level. But when it comes to making matchmaking, he the damn near the A side to everybody outside of Tank. So at 135. So therefore, I don't want to hear like he can't make fights and all this shit or somebody ducking him, bro. Everybody not ducking that man. It's whatever fight a fighter want, he's going to go get. So with that situation, I'm out. Salute to you, and I'm always going to tap in with you as well.
All right, thank you for joining me on the panel, Paid in Full. Mr. Greg, close us out. What you got for the show?
I close out with, I'll say it again. Devin is not the same Devin that he probably thought he was going to be. He had the opportunity to show it in that last fight, and he completely threw it away, or he just didn't have it. The lawsuit and the way that he's conducted himself after the fight doesn't suit him, or I shouldn't say, it doesn't serve him well at all, and it doesn't help boxing. And by the way, the Tank Lamont Roach fight that is down here in the DMV area. You always will get, at least at this level, a solid fight. I don't think Lamont Roach can beat Tank. No, let me change that. He can't beat Tank, but he can give Tank a solid fight. So we can look forward to that. And sometimes that's all you're going to get. You're not going to get the big fight, the big pay-per-view that everybody should have gotten or want to get every time, but you'll get a solid fight. And I believe this fight will be a solid fight for Tank. If nothing else, he's back in the ring. and you can see where he is once he's back in the ring. No, it's not Shakur. I believe Shakur is not going to go far. And I say that because by this time, he should have had some defining fights. He should have had at least one or two big fights where we could say, okay, this is something. We're still looking for that fight after all this time. As far as the big fights taking place, until all of the powers that be, which would be the promoters, decide it is enough money in us making this fight where everybody can be at least satisfied, we're going to keep on as we have for the last couple of years. Every once in a while, we'll get the fight we want. It might be a little bit late, but we'll get it. But we'll still be having these same conversations and debates, and it's always fun. But until the like I said, he who has the goal will still make the rules. And if they're saying, no, we're not paying for that yet, we're not getting it unless the fighters say we'll fight for free, which they're not going to do either.
And even that fighters being your own boss, it's not the flex people think it is, and it's not going to necessarily move the needle like that
because they don't have the money.
Right.
I think they were showing. I think somebody else was talking about fighters who fighting and still don't make much money at the end of the fight because after all the splits and debits and so forth, you're not making that much money. So all that, when we hit, like I said, everybody's trying to talk like Floyd, trying to be like Floyd, but they just want that look. They want to look like it, but they don't have the people behind them on any of the ends. And they don't have, like I said, not HBO, Showtime was willing to do, hey, we want Floyd so bad, we'll give him a 5
And
fight.
Floyd was putting money up. He was paying fights on his undercard. Like he was legit putting up money.
You got to have some money in this game. You can be the product, but the product doesn't get moved to the marketplace without any money. That's where the promoters sometimes have investors a lot of the time who actually that's where they're getting their money from. So there's a whole other layers of things that has to take place. All of that in terms of who's, when we hear somebody's ducking and all that other kind of stuff, or send me the contract, all that's just smoke and mirrors. Whoever got the money is the one who's making those decisions. You can do all the talking we want. So I hope that Devin, because I do like Devin. I think hasn't been moved and promoted in a way that could have made him a better name. And also, you got to have that fight, that question that you have to answer some questions to fans. And Devin had a fight that some questions was going to come up, such as when he kept getting knocked down, how would he respond? And we're seeing how he's responding. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Greg, thank you for joining me today, and I will see you.
Let me come on. I love you for that.
No problem.
You say you had 5,000 on already?
No, we're on the road to 5,000.
On the road to 5,000. It's gonna just be a matter of time before it's gonna be hard to get on. You're gonna be
I can't wait. I can't wait.
But I'm looking for that, sis. You do your thing, and thank you for letting me come on. I'll see you on Friday.
All right. Thanks for the words of encouragement. I'll see you next week.
Sis.
All right. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. Thank everybody for coming up here. There's a lot of things we didn't get to. We didn't get to Floyd Mayweather being sued. And I'm not going to lie to y'all. Floyd Mayweather is starting to sound a little scamish to me, y'all. I've heard so many things about Floyd making promises. Getting paid for things that he didn't do. I've been ignoring it. But maybe I'll hit it up. We'll talk about it on Friday in the open chat. But what's going on with Floyd running off with people money and not giving the services that he's supposed to render once he is paid for them? We got to talk about that. Is Floyd a scammer? He's slapping strippers? He not paying his workers? What the heck is going on with Floyd Mayweather? But we'll have to talk about that next Friday. Looking forward to the Tank Davis-Lamont Roach fight, even though it's not the fight that everybody wanted to see or expected to see. But we got to ask ourselves, why can't Lamont Roach dare to be great? Why can't we say Lamont Roach is daring to be great by going up and fighting Tank Davis versus saying the opposite? It's all about perspective. But I want to thank everybody for joining me today. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate all the support, all the likes, all the subs, all the cash apps, even though, let me check. I did not receive any cash apps today, but that's all good. I'm just happy that you guys are here, commenting in the chat, joining me on the channel, on the panel, giving your 2 cents about the situation. And listen, just so we're clear, this is not an echo chamber. This is not somewhere you're going to come where everybody agrees with everybody. And honestly, some of the people I talk to the most and the most often on YouTube, we don't even agree. Some of my closest friends on YouTube, we don't even agree on one thing. But we love to come together and talk. We love to come together and debate and go back and forth. Really, there are no right or wrong answers over here because, like Boxing Hacker says, it's all speculation. So again, I'm Jay, and this is our 2 cents. And stay tuned for my 2 cents in the next live.
Y'all, man, 2 cents be on point. Shit, she be on point, bro.
Appreciate it.
Blonde,
Appreciate
for real.
it.
She talking facts. Like, you the first one to say it.